I just realized something. The ChatGate scandal that's going on. Those aren't plans. They weren't talking plans. They were talking live events, live things happening as they are occurring. A plan would be something like, uh, let's attack the let's make an attack against the Wailing Wall in Israel. Where we what would what how do we go about doing that? Okay, uh, let's an F-15 Eagle Strike Eagle with 250-pound bomb loads can take that out. Israel has an air force, so they're going to obviously send some aircraft up against that. So we want to send maybe 4 F-4s as a strike force, as the primary strike force against the Wailing Wall. That way we lose, chances are we might lose 3 aircraft, but we have one that'll get through. On top of that, we're going to have 18s to support them. So let's have 4 F-18s that to support the 4 F-4s, and hope that one of the F-4s can actually knock out the Wailing Wall. We also need to launch Harpoon missiles against the radar systems and anti-aircraft systems that is in the path from the Mediterranean Sea to the Wailing Wall. And we need 8 Harpoon missiles to do that. Okay. So I used to have a F-15 model. Did I have an F-16 model also? No, I don't think so. I used to have a plastic model of an F-15 Eagle. And based on that, I also have a F-15 Eagle in action signal book. I can whip that out and get actual data. But I'm going based on what I remember from the model. There's 4 hard points, underwing hard points that the F-16 had. That can be used for 250 cluster of 250-pound bombs. So the outboard could either hold 3 or 6 250-pound bombs, and the inner wing, I think, held up to 12 250-pound bombs. So, and then you have the 4 Sparrow missiles, and I forget if those are air-to-air or air-to-surface, or they can be used either way. But I'm going to assume those Sparrows are air-to-surface missiles. And then each hard point would have the bomb hard point would have 2 missile launcher systems, so you can have 8 sidewinders for self-defense. The F-15, I think, also has a 20-millimeter cannon on there. They may have taken it off. I'm not up to date on modern, present-day technology. My understanding, my knowledge of military technology ends around 1990, in the 1980s and 1990s. So I'm out of date on actual data like that. There's been a lot of changes since the 1980s. So let's assume, okay, so you have a squadron of 4 F-4s, F-15s strikes, and you have 4 F-18s at air superiority. They will have similar hard points, 4 under wing, and they may be able to have wingtip missiles also. So they can Hornets can have up to 10 Sidewinder missiles for air combat, and then the underwing pods would also include ECM pods and maybe gun pods for anti-aircraft combat, air shielded combat, in support of the F-15s, striking ground strike vehicles. And then we're going to have an AWACS as eyes and ears for the guys. AWACS is obsolete; it's not being used anymore. But okay, I'm just going to go with it because I'm not sure what they're using for the eyes and ears of the squad and command squad uh, aircraft right now. So I'm just going to go with AWACS. So there, I am familiar with, or I have been familiar with. I kind of don't use it, you lose it. So yeah, I am familiar with the data concerning combat radiuses and combat speeds of these aircraft. Now I'm talking about the 1980s versions, not the 2025 versions. The two, technology has changed a lot since in that time period. So, but I'm not going to get into the details of that. Don't really need to. This is as an example. You have so we want to have since Iran has an air force that's going to fight our assault unit, we want the guys, the airplanes, the strike force, to refuel before they actually get into combat range of the Israel and Wailing Wall. So you're going to have an air tanker fly out there off the coast of, in the Mediterranean off the coast of Israel at a certain range. And then at a certain range, they're going to fuel. And so because they have a certain combat range, your aircraft carrier, the initial strike range of the aircraft carrier is now further out into the Mediterranean, where Israel's ground air force can't get to the aircraft carrier during the initial assault phase of the Wailing Wall. So you have to calculate when the tanker, wherever the tanker launches from, it could be, where's the launching point outside of Israel? Maybe Greek, Italy, Chad, who knows? Okay, Syria, whatever. Okay, maybe France or Spain. Okay, it's going to take time for it to get there, so it's going to have to launch and get there, and then guys refuel, and then it continue on. So it has to take off hours before the initial strike force takes off from the aircraft carrier. That needs to be calculated. When is that aircraft available? Be in the area to strike the Wailing Wall. When would the aircraft carrier? When can we have an aircraft carrier available for that? Okay. So we need Harpoon missiles to knock out the radar systems and anti-aircraft systems that Israel has to make a corridor for the strike force to hit the Wailing Wall. Like I said, I'm assuming I don't have actual plans or anything, so this is just theoretical bullshit. So I'm going to say 8 Harpoon missiles. So we need, what kind of cruisers and frigates and destroyers do we have in the Mediterranean that can strike? When can we have with Harpoon missiles be in striking range of the Wailing Wall? Okay, let's say all of this can take place 20 days from now. We're on March 31st, so February 20th would be our strike. Would be the strike date, and we plan. And I don't know. We don't want to really kill any civilians. We want to minimize the civilian casualties. So the Wailing Wall is probably going to be least occupied in the 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. local time. Okay, I'm theorizing. I don't know. I know nothing about Israel. So we need to plan. Okay, the time it takes for the aircraft to hit the Wailing Wall in a 1 a.m., 4 a.m. time frame means they have to be launched at a certain time. And so, okay, we have the time. We scheduled the time, the sequence of the aircraft, the harpoon launch, the sequence of the main strike force, or we're going to have a backup strike force, not a strike force, but we're going to have a secondary aircraft team to serve as air superiority to protect the original strike team as they return from the strike zone, and to escort and to provide cover for while they are actually attacking the target. So that has to be all calculated and stuff. That has to be planned. What happened is the brother DOD said, "Oh, called up brother FBI, brother CIA, and sister DNI, and say, okay, we are to go for strike. First strike. Okay, on the day of the event, we are go for strike. On the day of the event, we are okay." And then somebody says, "Oh, by the way, we've just launched a nuke ICBM to take out the Wailing Wall, just in case." Okay. What the Democrats are arguing is that on the day of the attack, they're talking about as if, oh, we were making plans to make this attack, and they're no. The plans were made a long time ago. They are talking about execution. Okay. When you do a nuclear, because I threw in the nuclear assault ICBM on the day of the assault, which was not part of the original plan. Okay. It takes, based on my knowledge, I'm the creator of the Flower Child Project Manned Spacecraft Design Concept. The Flower Child Project Manned Spacecraft Design Concept is a peaceful civilian colony Earth Mars colonization program. It is about the science and technology and protocols that needs to be researched and developed for Earth human civilians to colonize Mars. That's what the Flower Child Project is about. Based on my knowledge and understanding of space flight, it takes from launch to enter zero gravity outer space, takes about 15 minutes. If you want to do a atmosphere like an ICBM attack and exit the atmosphere, exit the gravity field, circle around the planet, orbit the planet for an entry point to make a ground attack, it takes about between 1 and 5 minutes. And then it takes about 5 minutes for atmospheric entry, from atmospheric entry to detonation. So you're looking at 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes of flight. From the point of initial launch, it takes NORAD, Space Force, and whoever about 5 to 10 minutes to confirm, yes, this launch is real, based on communications, chatter, like what Brother DOD said. Oh, we just launched a nuke. Okay, so Israel is going to have an alarm. Nuclear missile incoming. 15 minutes. Uh, flying cover in 15 minutes. This is not a warning. I'm taking off on the Hawaii incident. That is not a plan. That is an execution. Okay. That, what they were talking, the chatter that those people were doing was not plans. It was an execution of a plan. They made the plan who knows how many months ago. This is bullshit. But, I'm 60 years old. I've been hearing this kind of bullshit that Democrats going after the Democratic politicians going after the Republican politicians, Republican politicians going after the Democratic politicians since the Apollo 1 fire. Okay? This is bullshit. This is, this is just a Hillary Clinton Democrats versus Tulsi Gabbard. Bullshit. The continuation of that. That's all I have to say right now.